everybody, this is Danny with Legendary Muscle, and today I'm here with Rob and his 1970 El Camino SS. Thanks for being on the show, Rob.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, I saw your car at the car show. I loved it. I know I went up to you, we started talking about it, asked you to be on the show, and you started telling me how you got this car. If you don't mind, tell the audience how you got this car. Sure.
In 1984, I was in Anaheim, California with my family. We went out there to visit Disneyland. And Friday morning I was picked up a paper and was reading the classified section and came across a car ad for a 70 El Camino. And the car was listed and it was located in Bellflower, which is right next to Anaheim. So drove over there, checked out the car on Friday. Saturday I went to the local bank, had the funds transferred, and went back and negotiated a deal.
Nice.
And became the owner of it. On Saturday, I took it to we have a friend out there that had a gas station, and I went to their place and got new tires and put it up on the lift, did a complete roadworthy inspection of it, checked all the fluids, the vitals and everything, brakes, did a few minor repairs on it, and the following Monday, I took my wife and family, my other remainder of my family, back to the airport.
Gotcha.
My son and I cashed in our airline tickets at that time, which you could still do for full cash refund, and got in the car and headed back towards to Chicago.
Nice.
Along the way, we stopped at various places, junkyards, auto dismantlers, dealerships, small little remote dealerships along in different cities and states, and walked up to the parts counters and, hey, do you have any parts for a Camino? Luckily, I found some NOS stuff and loaded up. By the time we finally got back to Illinois, the back end, the bed of this thing was completely filled with car parts.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, that was in '84, so this car was 14 years old or something like that. So you could still find multiple parts for it still at dealerships at the time.
Yeah, surprisingly.
That's actually pretty good. Now, what condition was this car in when you got it?
When I bought it, it was a woman I bought it from. She had just recently divorced her husband, and he owned a body shop in Sandy, Utah. So the car was lettered up on both sides with the name, the advertising for the place, and across the tailgate it said, "We meet by accident," with the dent being in big letters. So it's kind of like, well, I drove the car home like that, and at the time I had a good friend at Scully's Customs, and we brought the car there and sanded off all the paintwork on it and gave it its first coat of paint.
That's good, because you didn't want people bothering you to, hey, can you fix my car?
Yeah, plus the phone number for saying to Utah, a little questionable.
Yeah. So these El Caminos, what years were they produced?
All right, they started producing the first one in 1959 and 60 models, and then they went on a hiatus until 1964, at which point they continued the manufacture up until 1987, and that was the last year of them. They still continue to manufacture in Australia a Ute. It's what they refer to it as over there, which is kind of it's a hybrid car truck, much like the El Camino. And they've pretty much they've been some prototypes and teasers that were brought over here to the States, but nothing that's ever materialized.
Okay. Yeah, you got to love the Aussies with their version of our cars, right?
Their inventiveness, yeah.
Yep. So this car right here, 1970 SS, what engine did this actually come with before?
The SS model came with a 454.
454?
Well, two different versions. You had a 396 was the base engine, and then you had a 454.
Okay.
The 396s were available in three different horsepower ranges, 3.25, 350, and 375 horse.
Okay.
The 454 came in a 360 and then a 450 horse version.
Okay, 450, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very nice. Now, this car is it's very weightless. It looks it's weightless in the back, so I'm pretty sure it kind of get kind of squirrely on you if you don't watch out.
Believe it or not, the car, I had this on a scale, and at the time my son had a 70 Chevelle. This actually had 200 pounds more weight on the back tires than his did.
Okay.
And plus you could also drop the tailgate down to give you a little more leverage.
Okay, gotcha. A little bit more aerodynamic. So
Yeah.
so I like your setup, how your stance is on your car.
Sure.
What's your setup, suspension wise here?
All right, in the front I've got 2-inch drop Beltec spindles, along with QA1 shock absorbers, coilover shocks, and Global West control arms upper and lower.
Okay.
The front brakes are 12-inch diameter LT1 Camino, and believe it or not, just the calipers in the front are GM calipers, but they're the metric sized.
Oh, okay.
In the rear, I've got 11-inch rotors with PBR calipers in the rear. The whole rear suspension is pretty much all strange. Axles, differential carrier.
Gotcha.
I run 373 gears in the back with strange C-clip eliminators and Curry upper control arms.
So this for a ride, this was very well thought out what you did. You didn't just go to the AutoZone or any local parts store and just say, hey, you know what, I want some parts, give me it, and just slap them on. You actually did your research on what you wanted and how you wanted it done, huh?
One of my trips to California, I actually stopped. I went to Global West and sat down with their guys for a period of time and talked with them, and really got the lowdown on what I needed to do, what my intentions were, and what they recommended, and pretty much followed their game plan.
That's good. So how does it handle when,
like a go-kart?
Like a go-kart.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And now looking at it, I know, you got your SS front end and everything. I really want to see that engine because I see right there fuel injection, which tells me this is not stock.
Right.
Is there any chance we can have a look at that?
Sure can.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So tell us, what do we have here?
It's a GM 454 iron block, aluminum heads, board and stroke to 471, 9.25 to 1 compression, so it's friendly on the street gas. Just recently rebuilt by Muscle Machine over in Eustis. Originally built back in 07 by Joe Ryan Engineering in Gary, Indiana.
All right.
But
so what kind of internals do you have on it?
Internals as far as the crankshaft and everything. Okay, it's got a Kohler crank, the knotty rods, Weisco pistons.
All right.
Pretty much, I custom made the headers. Took hooker headers, and because the car is lowered, I needed to modify them.
Yeah, I see. You don't really have a lot of space in between the headers. And your frame itself.
Yep. So other than that, I've got basically a one-piece firewall.
Okay.
All the fender wells have been filled and smoothed out. Fabricated a one-piece a header panel across the front here.
I see you got all your wires tucked in.
Everything. I try to keep everything nice and trim.
That's nice.
And
so how much horsepower did you say this is?
It was 522 at the on the dyno.
522 at the dyno. That's nice. Now, have you taken this out to the track or anything?
Yeah, it's been to the track and on street tires. Just as I drove in with the AC on, I ran a 1220 at 116.
Okay.
And I've had it on slicks. It ran high 11s on that.
Okay, so she actually gets up and goes when you need it to go.
Yeah, it's not a all-out performance motor, but it's
enough
just for the street. Yeah, it's fun.
It's street fun. Let's say that. Yeah, that's beautiful how you got everything tucked away. Your
Hydro Boost
system. Hydro Boost, huh?
Yeah, Hydro Boost. I've got a 600 lift cam in here with fairly large duration, so you're lacking the vacuum at idle. So Hydro Boost cured that problem.
Oh, okay, so that
and gained a little room back there for.
Yeah, definitely for the big engine.
Yep,
that is nice. So I see you have air conditioning in this thing.
Right, a vintage air front runner system, and kind of hid that. Also, the hoses everything is blended, kind of tucked away out of so it's not really evident.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice. So being that it's air conditioning, it's kind of hot outside being in Florida.
You want to take a ride?
Yeah, you want to take a ride? I'd love to take a ride. All right. Well, let's go take a ride. Well, Rob, I appreciate you taking us for a ride.
Oh, happy to have you along.
Yeah. So this it's not too noisy in here, actually. For the motor it has, it's pretty settled. So when you were rebuilding this car, did you have to get a lot of metal work in it or something?
No, I was really fortunate. This car was a West Coast car from an arid area in Utah, and still retains all the original sheet metal on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, and did you I know you did all the interior. Did you put a lot of sound deadening in it, or?
Oh yeah, and insulation overhead to keep the sun temperatures
to
a minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that AC is blowing nice and cold too. Who makes this AC again?
It's a Vintage Air.
Vintage Air. They do some good stuff. So over the time you've had it, I know it's been since '84.
Correct.
Have you done? I mean, how many modifications has this car gone through actually?
Oh boy, it's so many numerous ones that where you take and you basically personalize the vehicle, make it to what you like. You know, the style, the stance, the ride, performance out of it. It's a never-ending snowball effect. You know.
Right. So, I mean, did you have any certain kind of style that you wanted when you got the car? I mean, or is it still retaining that style today?
Right. When I first acquired the vehicle, like I said, it was originally lettered up and used as a parts truck for a body shop. And so I was working at a custom shop at that time myself. And after I got it home, the first thing we did was give it a fresh coat of paint. And cleaned everything up. And then 2 years later, I elected to do a full body off restoration over the winter months.
Okay.
So I took it down to the bare chassis, restored everything back to originality, put the body back on it, and drove it like that for the next 5-6 years. And then I kind of got tired of just going to shows and just having a stock vehicle. So I, at that time, the motor was starting to get show signs of wear.
Yeah, I got you.
I pulled the motor out of it, and I built a completely new, fresh motor.
Right, which is the current one right now, right?
Yeah, and I did a little racing with it at the drag strip, and just played around with it, and kind of played with it like that. But then I got tired of that because of make a 12-second pass, and then you sit there in the staging lane for the next hour waiting for your turn again.
Yeah.
So then I decided afterwards, well, it's time to lower the car, give it some stance and comfortable ride.
Okay.
Took out the, put a smaller cam in it, changed the rear end gearing, redid the tires and wheels on it, and reconfigured everything for more of a street cruiser.
All right. So it's gone through modifications of I want to race this car to now I just want to enjoy it and have fun and just relax.
It's all about seat time.
Yeah, seat time. Oh man. So like future mods, do you plan on doing anything else, or do you want to keep it as it is?
You know, I pretty much have gotten to the point. I've had this car for almost 40 years, and probably the only major change I would make would be the side windows. There's a company that makes a one-piece glass where I can eliminate the vent wings.
Okay.
And I've been toying with the idea of doing this, and then also putting in the electric window actuators at the same time.
Okay.
But I find myself from time to time really enjoying even the wing vents.
Yeah, it's got that nostalgia to it.
Yeah, and because there's no other way, because of the Vintage Air, I've taken and blocked off the original cold cowl air vents that were on here.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I could possibly reconfigure them to still use it once I put the one-piece glass in. At that, and I think well, the rear end gears in this thing are been through a lot of abuse, and
Gotcha.
I think it's about time to step up, put a new set of ring and pinion in it.
So now, the color of it, was it this color? Is this the original color of it?
This is original paint cold to start with. Now, I had the car repainted 3 years ago by Twisted Garage up in Ocala. Mike Chuchin, the owner, he painted the car, and we put it back to really pretty much the same. But I said, you know what? When you get to the paint, I wanted to put a little more silver metallic into it to give it a little more, make it pop a little more than the original paint.
Gotcha.
And that's what we did. So it's this car's had this is the 4th paint job on it. And so it's about one paint job every 10 years. That's about right.
Which, that's not too bad considering the states that you've lived in.
Yeah.
A lot of them are very harsh weather, and we know Florida is pretty bad, but I know at one point this car is in the garage, so that helps out a lot. I know, so we met, like I mentioned before, I met you at the car show in the Villages. Do you go any further than the Villages? Because, you know.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a kind of a set, every weekend there's a show there's a group of us that pretty much hit all the 4 shows. But now we've started to, because we've gotten tired of seeing the same cars, the same people.
Gotcha.
So now we're branching out. We're going out to the shows in Inverness, Crystal River, going over to Sanford, Daytona Beach, maybe hit the show down in Lutz.
Okay.
Some of the shows in Orlando. Obviously, one's up in Ocala and different areas. So just to get out there and see different other people, different cars, and
Exactly.
Meet different people, and it's the fun of the enjoyment of hanging out with other car guys.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has one thing in common: cars. So, are you with a car club or?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you want to give any shout out to anybody?
Yeah, it's the Losers Car Club. Now, the Losers, the name we did not pick that name. Our wives picked that name.
Oh no!
But the actual car club itself originated in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And at one time, I think they hosted close to 125 members.
Oh, okay.
So we've kind of taken that name. The guy who came down from Wisconsin with that name at car club. He's one of our lead members of the group. We don't have any president. We have no rules, no dues. It's just
have fun.
Just hang out and have fun together.
That's pretty cool. So you guys will get together and say, hey, let's go to Daytona. There's this car
Oh yeah.
show over there.
During the winter months when it's cooler out, it's nothing. We'll gather up, meet at a local stop somewhere chosen, and then from there we'll head out to either the East Coast, the West Coast, or head north or south, just to go for we'll go to a different restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, we'll drive 60, 70 miles just to go have a hamburger.
You know, it's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Oh yeah, it's the adventure, and you know, we kind of get lost sometimes. We'll meander through different parts of the state. We've had one time where we actually went over to the Atlantic sites, checked into a hotel room there, and the early next morning we were out all set up on the beach watching the sun come up on the east side. And then went to breakfast, got in our cars, drove around, meandered, sightseed, stopped for lunch along the way.
Right.
Turned around, and then we headed towards the West Coast for the evening. Checked into a motel there, and at evening at sunset, we all were out on the beach watching the sun go down into the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun things we like to do, and really make it a great camaraderie with friends.
Exactly, and I think that's what it's all about. So,
Exactly.
you know, we're coming down to the end of our time.
Yeah.
And this is what cars is all about. It's not necessarily all about the car. It's about the people who have the car. It's about their story, and that's what we like to do here on the channel. And thanks to people like Rob here, we have a show, and it's just awesome hearing your guys' story and everything like that. So until next time, from Rob and Danny, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.